And we're here in Manchester at the launch of the new Super League season for 2014, joined by Widnes Vikings Kevin Brown. Kevin, where do you start really summing up the last couple of months in pre-season training?
Tough, very tough. Some long days, some days where you just want to finish and get home. But you know, we've all got through it, and you know, it's the intensity that the lads have put in has been fantastic. And I think the game, the weekend against Catalan, proved that we're more than ready for the start of the Super League now.
I was going to say, you're a bit disorientated coming and going, just got back from France?
Yeah, just got back yesterday, which, like I was just saying off air, it was a really good trip, very worthwhile, and you know, we got a lot out of it, you know, not only on the field but the team bonding off it as well. What
sort of things have you been doing in this pre-season compared to the previous one?
Probably nothing different, probably just a little bit more volume, a little bit more intense. All the lads are a training year older and could stand the load a little bit better. And but yeah, I've done some tough pre-seasons, and this has been right up there as one of the toughest. But I know in my time that the pre-season that you suffer, how hard it is, you get that back in abundance. You know, when it comes Super League time and when the games start.
And how has it been for you? Because obviously last season you struggled with injury a couple of times. Do you think in this tough pre-season, having this longer spell as well, is going to set you up sort of hopefully better for the months to come?
Yeah, last season I rolled Willie Isa fell on my ankle when I was at a really good stage and set me back. But this year's it's probably the first year I've had an uninterrupted pre-season in probably since 7 or 8 years now. With variation of things, and feeling great. My body's in real good shape, and it's good to get a combination with my teammates and carry the combinations off I built last year. In particular, Joe Mellor, Reece Ambry, and John Clark. As a group of four, I think we performed pretty well, and it's very important that we reproduce that and get better if we're going to improve, as we say we want to.
And a couple of seasons ago was Widnes' first one back up in Super League after a few seasons down there, and it was quite difficult, I think, for Dennis and the rest of the team behind the scenes to build that squad up and get those combinations right that you just mentioned. Do you feel now, after a couple of seasons, obviously just the one for yourself here, but do you feel now you are reaching that moment?
We fear no one. That's last year maybe. I never went into a game thinking we couldn't win, but I was hoping that they didn't play the best. Now this year, I look around my teammates and I don't see anyone who isn't a good player, who isn't going to try hard, who I don't trust to do all the little things well. And when you've got that kind of confidence within your teammates, doesn't really matter if Wigan turn up, you can still beat them if you play well, and the same for all the teams. So I think we're at a good place. Obviously we're not the finished article, and we're not getting too carried away, but I'm very confident that this year we're going to improve, and how much we improve by the league table will tell us come September, October time.
And how are the new guys settling in?
Great. I speak to some of the lads from Hull, and they were asking me how Danny Tickle and Paul Johnson have settled in, and it's like they've been here a few years. I feel like I've been here a few years myself, and Danny's absolutely loving it. And I've never been in a team with bad team spirit, but the team spirit we've got at the moment is pretty special, and you can't do trips away or anything like that to replicate or to make team spirit get like this. And we really do enjoy coming to train, enjoy each other's company, and I'm sure that'll transfer onto the field when we play.
What can Widnes achieve this season? Obviously every side wants to get to those playoff spots, wants to reach the last stages of the Challenge Cup, get silverware. What do you think is realistically achievable? Because really only just missed out on those playoff spots last year.
Yeah, that's definitely that wouldn't be too big of an achievement for me. I think that's what we should be aiming for as a minimum. If we improved probably 25 to 30% on everything last year, defence, attack, and if we improve something similar to that this year, then not only will we be in the playoffs, but we'll be pushing up the playoffs and be a threat. When we get in the playoffs, we don't just want to play one week and you lose. You want to have a good chance of winning games, and I think for me that'll be an achievement if we can get in the playoffs and really shake it up a little bit.
And the changes to Super League, knowing that two teams are going to go at the end of this season, does that give that extra bit of pressure, that bit of spice that you wanted?
Not really, no. For me, last year, apparently we didn't have anything to play for in the last 3 games. Hull KR did. and we beat them by 40. So we won all our last 3 games when we didn't have anything to play for. Every time, you know, I can only speak for myself, but I step on a field, I don't want to be beaten. I don't want to be beaten. I don't want to be run through in a tackle. I still want to score tries. I still want to make breaks, and you know, that's when I enjoy my rugby. You know, you want to win, and regardless of relegation or if we finish first in the league or anything, you step over that white line, you want to win, and it's no different for me this year. I've played in leagues in the past where there's been relegation. I was at Wigan when they had a lot of injuries and they was near the bottom, and I was at Huddersfield when I first went there and they were near the bottom, and I've never played my rugby any different. I want to win, and that'll be no different this year. So
from what you said there, what are your feelings about the changes and the promotion relegation and the franchise system ending? Obviously Widnes went back up with the franchise system, but...
Yeah, I've probably got mixed feelings. You know, I think Widnes is proof of how it's worked. And then there's clubs that are proof that it hasn't worked, and there's a lot of clubs going bust. So my only worry would be, you know, the added pressure on, you know, the chairman and the chief executives to spend more than they earn, and this happen even more. And as long as that doesn't happen, then, you know, the game needs to move forward, and whatever, I'm behind it now, it's happened. So I think that's what we all need to do now, get behind it and just make sure we're not in the bottom 2.
Thanks for your time, Kevin.
Thank
Good luck
you.
for the season ahead.
Thanks very much.